You are the answer to the cry of a nation. You are the answer to the cry of a generation. You are here deliberately by God to fulfill a purpose, a destiny, and an assignment. You can't stop a church that is prayerful. You can't stop a family that is prayerful. You can't stop a business that is prayerful. You can't stop a career that is prayerful. You can't stop children who are prayerful. You can't stop anything. The Bible says men ought to pray and not to faint. Not boys, men. So how do you know men? They have capacity to pray.
Pastor Prince Abba, teach you with wisdom and power.
Okay, 4 basic structures. Number 1 is what you call the intercessory or the prayer structure. Every church is called to pray. Say that with me. Every church is called to pray. I didn't hear you say every church is called to the ministry of prayers. Until you get there, you have no ministry. In fact, real ministry is praying. The real ministry is prayers. There is no such thing as ministry if it is not founded on the foundation of prayers. That's why Jesus said, my house shall be what? Called the house of what? Prayers for all nations. He also said that men ought to pray and not to what? Faint. So who is a man? A man is not a guy with mancho. It's not a guy with a lot of beard. It's not a man. It's not somebody who is grown in age. That's not a man. A man is a mature spiritual being. A man is somebody who has grown weight and capacity in the spirit. A man is somebody who has built muscles in the spirit. That's who a man is. A man is somebody who has ability beyond the natural. And that ability is spiritual, it's not physical. And how do you build that kind of ability? Is at the place of prayer. You are living in a world that is controlled by spiritual forces. The world is not controlled by physical forces. Human beings, mortals, are controlled by spiritual forces. The way people act is not because of their temperament, it's because of the spiritual atmosphere and climate over them. This morning I was coming to church. A lot of people are in beer parlors drinking. You think it's temperamental. You must be sick to think that way. There's a spiritual climate. It's just like in a boy now. The climate here is the climate of religion. Somebody has got to crack that climate, and you don't crack it by talking. You crack it by prayer. It's altar. There's something that is clothed, that is, I don't know how to put it. There's something like a veil over the eyes of people in this part of the world that have stopped them from seeing God the way He is. A lot of people think going to church is what makes you a Christian. It's beyond that. I want to believe somebody like Apostle Paul, who was once Saul, before his conversion, somebody must have been praying for him. Nobody just gives his life to Jesus. Don't be deceived. Nobody just changes overnight. Don't be deceived. No city just changes overnight. Don't be deceived. Anywhere you have seen change, anywhere you have seen transformation, people pay the price to clear the climate in the spirit. That's the first structure of the church. Structure of prayers. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you have not yet learned the art of prayer. I want to advise you, ask God to give you that burden to pray, because your whole life depends on it. Your whole future, your whole destiny, your whole everything depends on it. The Bible says, when men slept, what happened? Did you see what I showed you yesterday morning? For those of you who were here, Isaiah 56, you read from verse 10, you see where it says that their watchmen are blind. When a watchman becomes blind, what happens? Thieves enter and begins to steal. Yes, now when you put a gate man on the gate of your house, and instead of keeping the gate, he is sleeping, what do you think will happen? A thief will come in and begin to collect everything. I've seen it happen now. Collect everything and zoom off. That's what is happening to a lot of Christians. Do you know why the devil is stealing from you? You are blind. You are sleeping. That's blindness. There is sleep. You are asleep. You have lost your prophetic eye. And what opens the eyes of your prophetic realm is prayer. Before the devil sets a trap and even finishes or executes that agenda, you have already seen what he wants to do. Only people who have blindness of eyes are victims of the theft of the enemy. For some of you who are thinking you've arrived in ministry, there are some of you I'm already seeing, you're forming big boys. I'm going to send you to the back to go and pay the price. It's not sitting in front of me that is the issue. It's carrying weight. It's not claiming whatever you are not. It's carrying weight. Just like man cannot live without oxygen, your destiny will not find expression without prayers. Your future will not find expression without prayers. Okay, so the church must be structured to pray. Everybody must be an intercessor. You have to be taught it. Their distractions minimizes. Somebody is not hearing what I'm saying though. I say when believers begin to pray, what happens? Their distraction minimizes. You are focused. The Bible says if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. What is that thing that singles your eye? What is that thing that gives you sharp focus? What is that thing that gives you sharp cutting edge? What's that thing that makes you an eagle that sees far? Blind Christians everywhere. They can't even see their 10 years. They can't see their future. That's why they are asleep. What gives you a sharp edge? What gives you insight? What gives you foresight? Is prayers. That's what clears the mist in your eyes. Just like a man who is driving and it's raining, and then you see sometimes, I have experienced it, you see the whole windscreen becomes cloudy, everywhere becomes so mist, and then you are wiping and then nothing is working. You have to sometimes even use your hanky to clean for vehicles that don't have AC. That's how a lot of Christians have become. They are driving, but they can't see where they are going because they are blind. Their eyes are withheld from seeing glory. Their eyes are withheld from seeing the future. Their eyes are withheld from seeing their tomorrow. Their eyes are withheld from seeing what they need to do to make that work. They can't see it. And like children of Issachar that had understanding of the times, and they knew what Israel ought to be doing. You are a prophetic generation. The prophetic is what God said in the book of Joel chapter 2, when the prophetic came, when Joel prophesied and said in the last days I'll pour my spirit upon all flesh. He said your sons and daughters will prophesy. The unit of the body that enhances prophetic is the eyes. That arm of the body, that organ of the body, that I don't know which prophet prophesies adequately without eyes to see. You see, you're a prophetic generation. Your job this end time is to see. Okay, he didn't say your young men shall see vision. I found out, Max, that both the prophetic and the visionary are all tied to the eyes. Both of them. He said in the last days, the Spirit God is pouring out is the spirit of prophecy, is the spirit of vision. Both of them function within the eye realm. That means if you are blind in these last days, you will never manifest as a prophet to nations. You will never manifest vision to nations. Sons and daughters will prophesy. You can't prophesy what you don't see. That's why it's called prophecy. So you only prophesy what you see. Prophecy is that I said what I see. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 10. And then God said, Son of man, what do you see? He said, I see the branch of an almond tree. And God said to him, you have seen well. He said, for I'm watching over my word to perform it. What it means is that God can't even do anything in your life. God can't do anything with you until your eyes open to see what he wants to do with you. We have a church that is sleeping this end time. The kind of ministry and churches we have everywhere now are churches that only pray to receive. Prayer of warfare. That's elementary school prayer. God, give me car, give me house. That's nonsense. Call upon me in the days of trouble, and I will answer, and I will show you great and mighty things which thou knowest. That's the height of prayer. Let me ask you a question. If you are asking God for a car, and you change that prayer and say asking God to show your future, and God show you a whole China, will you still need car? If you went to Reuben store to buy Reuben bread, and somebody now meets you and gives you a receipt and tells you, look, everything in this place has been paid for and is all for you. Say, before you came in here, the man that paid for it gave us the receipt and say, when you come, we should give it to you. It's a surprise. I want to ask you a question. Will you still be dragging bread? I don't know if you are hearing what I'm saying. Will you still be dragging bread? Why? Because the picture has changed. The reason some of you are settling for too small is what you are praying for. You have not started praying the right kind of prayer. Show me great and mighty things which I don't even know. Show me who I am in my future. Show me who I'm meant to be in my destiny. Show me. This lazy Christianity of this end time will cost you a lot of carryovers. Anybody can talk whatever he wants to talk. Anybody can claim whatever he wants to claim. I found out no power, no results. It's simple. How deep the foundation goes determines how high the building goes. Let me tidy up on this. Let me leave the issue of prayer. But understand it, any way you do ministry, that subject, that issue of prayer, it cannot be played down on. Let the whole church learn it, how to be intercessors. Do you know when you pick onions, for instance, every time I look at onions, when I pick it, I don't know why the surface, the first layer, is always dirty. How many of you peel that first layer and put inside your soup? It's always dirty, right? And it's always peely. Looks peely. Sometimes there's spills, and sometimes you also see it has wounds around it. Have you noticed when you open that first layer, the next layer you see is finer than the first one? Is that okay? When you open the second layer, the next one you see after the second is much beautiful than the other one. As you keep opening and keep opening, you reach to a point, what was red becomes white. You get to a point that the inner part of that onions is so white, is so pure. That is what the fire of prayer does. As you pray, layers upon layers are removed, because there is a purer you inside you. There is a greater you inside you. There is a powerful you inside you. There is a rabonki you inside you. There is a stadium jamming pastor inside you that is inside you. There is a crowd pulling minister that is inside you. But prayer is going to unveil the layers. Prayer is the secret for removing those layers, layer by layer, layer by layer, until the real potential, the real greatness, the real you that is inside of you begins to find expression. Number two, let's leave the prayer stuff. Everybody, for 1 minute, lift up your hands and then ask God, Father, the body, once again, the body for prayer. This is not prayer for car, it's prayer for Lord. I want to know your face. Show me your face. You can sit there, you don't need to stand, but just lift up your hands. Pray passionately. Lord, open my eyes that I may see. That's not how to pray. That's not how to pray. That's not how to pray. This prayer is fervent. It's effectual. People who are not hungry for prayer should not be hungry for any future. You have nothing to be hungry about. It's men who are hungry for seeking God, who want to lie down all the time in his presence, praying, seeking him, longing for him. Those are the men we are here for. It's not the ones who are. That's where your ministry starts. That's where your ministry starts. Structure aside prayer is called preaching. Preaching means winning souls or soul winning. Preaching means evangelism. I'm showing you how to be a man of covenant with God, how to be a man who will secure himself legacy in the kingdom, how to be a man who will secure for himself real wealth. I mean, amazing glory in the kingdom. That's what I'm showing you now. There's something I need to even say about prayer. I've never seen a man who is so young, who paid the price for prayer, who didn't become mature. Never seen. Prayer is an amplifier. I'm telling you. I was with somebody somewhere, one of the guys here. And then somebody was talking to me and he said to me, I told him, this guy is going to do this for you. He said, no, leave this one. He can't do it. I need somebody more mature. I said, wow. I said, okay, I'll get you somebody more mature. I now turned to the other person. I said, what this guy said is not my problem. You are now my problem. He said, Pastor, how? I said, what this guy said now is not my problem. You are now my problem. How can a non-believer see you and say he needs somebody more mature to do something? Shouldn't that tell you you're not paying this price for prayer? Because you know what prayer does? It amplifies you. I was in a meeting with my pastor. He was asking some people their age. Some people were called 42, 43, 40 this, 40 that. I was like, I didn't even know these guys. Some of them are my friends. 45, 47. I said, this guy is my very close friend. So is this old? Ministers. I was there, I was praying. I said, oh Lord, please, may he not ask me. May he not ask me. And thank God he didn't ask me. You know why he didn't ask me? He knows my age. So he knows if he had asked me and I said it there, people would have fallen down under the power of God. This power of God I mean now is not power of God from heaven. It's power of surprise. Because my age is so small, very small. But it's not the age God uses. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? It's not the age God uses. What God wants is to drill you. There's a giant. Once that thing comes alive, people will look at you. Even if you're 15 years, they'll be thinking you're 50 years. The kind of maturity that will be on you, both spiritually and physically, it will show. Physically, your body will even start changing. It's like gym. When you go to do gym, I don't have 6 packs. Sometimes I try to fold my stomach and I see the 6 packs inside. Yes, I've done it. Sometimes I do my stomach, take it inside. I see the 6. When I allow the stomach to relax, the thing is like a balloon. Now, I found out these 6 packs is not bought in the market, it's already inside. I don't need to go and tell somebody, please, how much do you sell 6 packs? The 6 packs is here. How do I get the 6 packs to manifest? Is by press up. is by doing some kind of gymming. I don't know which one they call it, but there are some things I will need to do over time. If I'm patient, if I'm regular, if I'm steady and consistent, all that my balloon stomach will go inside, and then everything is going to be 6, 3 here, 3 here. Then I want to now grow chest out. There are some other kind of exercises you are recommended to do. The chest will bulge out. You want to now grow some kind of arms, have muscles around this part. There's some kind of things you'll be doing every morning and every evening. After a while, you will be a whole different person from who you used to be. Physically, people will see you and say, you have changed though. That thing that you manifested outside has been inside you. You only subjected your body to some rigorous training and exercise, and then your physical body now conformed to the discipline you give it. That's the same way it is in the spirit. When you engage in spiritual exercise, the lion inside of you begins to come out. The man inside of you begins to come out. And the way it works is that the state of the spiritual even affects the physical. Are you hearing what I'm saying? The state of the physical, the spiritual, affects the physical. You begin to look it on the outside. People see you, they won't know you are a small boy by age. They won't know you are a small girl by age. You'll be a man. You'll be a woman. If you can allow me train you, if you will imbibe the things I'm teaching you, I would have reduced your problem by. God blessed me with a Range Rover Sport. I was supposed to travel to Lagos to go and pick it. The week I was preparing to, I got an SMS from my pastor. A report in Enugu, I have a training. You know, for a baby, he would think Range Rover is what makes him more important. I left the trip, cancelled my flight. I took off to Enugu, and I sat there for days acquiring spiritual muscle. You see, what makes us different is what we place value on. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's what we place value. Some place value on food. I place value on prayer. Some place value on clothes. I place value on tapes. Some place value on cars. I place value on training. Why? Because when you get this real wealth, spiritual wealth, you can use it to buy up anything you want in the physical. Anything you want. That's what God calls true riches. He said, if you are not faithful with the unrighteous mammon, who is going to give you what? True riches. True riches. I see a lot of ministers who are running around the government house, politicians and all that, and I tell them, you don't know what you're doing. Government will come and government will go. Our kingdom is for go and pay the price to collect what makes men seek you. Everywhere, Ibiome is sought after. Oedebo is sought after. Pastor Debo is sought after. Men are sought after. And then I said, God, what is the secret? Were those men following politicians up and down? No, sir. You know what they were doing? Secret place. Kabashing. Praying. Building capacity to solve problems. And when they began to develop themselves, grow themselves, men began to realize, there's somebody like this within this part of the world, and they began to consult them. Your problem is that you think your problem is food. Your problem is that you think your problem is clothes. Your problem is that you think your problem is your next salary. Your problem is that you think your problem is a job. You don't understand the loftiness of your future. When I left the university, I threw all that thing called university, through all that thing called whatever job. I had opportunities. I could have been a lecturer if I wanted. I have one of my brothers here who was my senior in school when I did my ACG election. He was the one who carried on the head. He's my brother. He's from my place. He was my senior in the university. I think when I was in first year, it was in third year or so, or I don't know. I knew that something beyond that job, people were thinking I was going to graduate and go and was waiting for me. I saw it clearly. I saw. You can't carry me and dump me in the bank. Even when I have all it takes to be in the banking sector, I had all it takes. All it takes. I have all. Even when I had capacity to have been a lecturer, because I have it in me. I could have finished whatever, apply, get a job. I can pull a few strings here and there, and I'll be teaching in the university. But I saw something. The scripture says in Matthew 13, the kingdom of God is like a treasure hidden in the field. When a man finds it, you know what he does? He goeth out and selleth every other thing he has, that he may come and do what? Buy up that field. When you see that you are a Sinach emerging from here, when you see that you are another Eben emerging from here, you will not be concerned about food, turkey, who gives me this, who gives me that. You will be paying the price in prayers to see that future come to pass. I hope I have not lost you. Have you ever seen me in meetings dozing off? How many of you have traveled with me? Have you ever seen me in meetings? How many of you have been busier than me this whole week? You've been busier than me. Put up your hands. Some of you didn't even come for yesterday's evening session. I reported to my house around 2 a.m. this morning. 2 a.m. from here. After the whatever service, people went back. I stayed back and I was doing other things. 2 a.m. wasn't I reported home this morning. I still got up earlier than some people. What's that thing making you sleep? Go and pray it out. Pray it. The state of your spiritual will reflect in your physical. If you're a man who values the things of the spirit, ask my people. Now we reduce everything I eat is now fruit and water. Give me a rice now, I can't eat it and finish it. Yesterday they packed fried snails and liver and put in my food. I said people should take all these things and go and share. Give me fruits. They gave me what do you call it, watermelon, and they gave me is it afagado pear, what do they call it, and then gave me what again? Yes, drink water. If you are a Daniel, stop killing your future on the table. You are a Daniel, killing your future with cutleries. Did you see a man who they said, okay, give him food that the kings eat, him and 10 other people, give them, let's. And the man said, no. Me, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, give us only vegetable and what? Water. And bring us after 10 days. You will see the difference. Just 10 days. The other ones who they selected to be schooled in the art of science and all that were busy killing their future with cutleries, spoon, knife. See how they do. Crunches, native restaurants, tearing things, laps into pieces. If you're not on the Laila's lap, you're on Chicky's lap. I don't know, you're tearing things. People who can't endure hunger. Once they get hungry here, you know why hungry always catch you? You're not hungry for anything else. Hungry every time. Hungry is when you're hungry for a future, you will not remember you have eaten. Some of you, one day hunger, the next day you have ulcer. That's your problem, because you're always about food. No future is in your head. Food. In a service, you can't wait for the service to go, so you can rush back home and soak gari. And then see if you can borrow groundnut and sugar, and then mix it with salt and see how you can help your life. You can't wait. Is that the life God brought you here to live? See you who has Range Rovers in convoys in your destiny, pay the price for it. You have not seen anything. See you who presidents are supposed to be shaking hands on arrival to come and solve a problem in a nation. You are here killing it with Eba. So you move it, the bow is like my hand, my fist. And how the thing travels past your, I still can't explain. Some of you are good with mixing soup like you're a DJ. DJ of soup. You mix okra, you mix ofensala, you even mix obono, you mix vegetable soup, mix oha soup. Everything mix. That's why your poo-poo smells the way it smells. That's why we called it for revival. So you will pay the price for what matters. Don't let the devil deceive you. You have a bright future. Don't kill it with your own hand. Forget that your background you have been looking at. I'm poor, I'm wretched, leave that nonsense. And then awake, O ye sleeper, put on thy garments, clear your eyes of this sleep and blindness, that your eyes may behold your future.
Next on Rule Your World with Reverend Prince Abba.
Chapter 28 verse 18. Go ye therefore into all the world and do what? Of all nations. Make disciples of all nations. That's the Great Commission. It's a commission to win souls, but not just win souls. Disciple them. Are you asking God for things and He's withholding it from you? Go and bear fruits, and then ask Him again. You will see the result. Bearing fruit is winning souls. Once those fruits remain or abide, you have discipled them.